This isn't creeping you out, is it? Okay, I'm sorry. You know me. I'm a huge ham. I'm very comical when it comes to that. But I'm going to try to be a little serious in this video because I just want to share a bunch of art projects I'm currently doing with you, my fans. And I figured it'd be a lot better to do this as a video blog or a really crappy visual podcast, as I love to call it, and just show you some of the things that I am currently working on and have planned to do. Well, most of it. Well, a lot of it, but there's also other projects that I'm not allowed to show due to contractual obligations with the people who hired me, now that I'm a professional freelance colorist. And I'll promise I'll try to keep all the stupid stuff to a minimum. I'm not going to be doing stuff like The Crimson Weirdo, because that turned out to be a complete and total failure. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. And also, forgive me, I'm kind of looking at the monitor at the side here. Although, strangely enough, when I have my eyes covered with stupid cardboard that I just threw over the desk, I seem to have better focus. But then again, my eyes, I don't know, it's a funny thing. I act better when my eyes are covered, as opposed to trying to give you the naked truth. Figuratively, not literally. Although, sadly, a lot of stupid people these days think figuratively and literally are the exact same thing, or figuratively is code for phallic symbol. But then again, what do you expect from the younger generations and stupid people of every generation? I'm sorry, I'm a little cynical, but I'll save that for another video. Right now, this is just me talking about artwork, and but I will say right off the bat, I am happy to say that the 2014 Godzilla movie, which I still plan on finishing that 90-minute long review, recently opened up in China on the 5th box office weekend of that's been here in America, and I'm happy to say it actually was a very strong opening in China. I might be mistaken, so double check the figures, but about 36 million on the opening weekend in China. Now, I know a lot of quote-unquote ugly Americans and simple people, yes, I'm being biased again, they might say that of course China liked it. It's a movie with a dragon in it. They always like that stuff. Again, dumb people. No, the truth is China has never really been big on giant monsters. At least not as big as Japan has. And although there was a brief time where a lot of Taiwanese companies and even Hong Kong tried to dip their foots into both the kaiju eiga genre, Japanese giant monsters, as well as the Haitian boom, Haitian being Japanese for transformation. And, you know, it was a craze of Japanese superheroes, hence the terminology Haitian boom. China's never really been that big on giant monsters, even though in the Transformer films and Pacific Rim did pretty good business over there. It seems more like kind of a freakish accident, especially with Pacific Rim, where it made most of its box office internationally, but it was still kind of tepid in the waters. And I don't know, maybe the Chinese are bigger fans of live-action robots than Americans, even Japanese are. Because, again, we're practically two countries separated at birth, all horrific histrionics aside. But yeah, no, it was kind of a pleasant surprise for yours truly to find out that China really embraced the Godzilla reboot. And funny thing too, because recently there's been a lot of very good articles in the last couple of months talking about how the Chinese movie-going public is getting a little tired of the same sort of American big blockbuster action movies, to such a point that the common complaint is you can't tell one from another. Ironically, basically what Americans say about most foreign movies. Even though I was not happy with the execution of Godzilla 2014, despite the fact I still gave it 3 stars out of 4, I do appreciate that they were trying to do something different, as opposed to just a, endless action movie, or in the case of the amazing Spider-Man 2, just basically do brand control for an hour and a half. Seriously, that's what that movie was. Look, pink lemonade. I can talk longer now. For 40 minutes. So, I'm eccentric, and just letting that out there for those of you who actually think I'm just outright insane, because you're prejudiced and hateful towards people like me. Again, I'm very cynical, and I'll explain in another video. So maybe Godzilla 2014 was what the Chinese audiences wanted or needed from American movie makers, in the sense that it's a movie that isn't just your typical wham bang, thank you ma'am, now get out type of blockbuster. And it's also happy to hear that a Japanese kaiju with a lot of American backing, because let's face it, Godzilla's as much as our faults here in America as it was in Japan, as far as the worldwide popularity and distribution goes. It's nice to see a Japanese movie monster, even the famous one Godzilla, actually do well with Chinese audiences. I don't know how it's going to hold up in the second week, but so far it's positive and confirmed to say that Godzilla 2014 is a success. It's made a lot of money around the world. I don't want to say numbers without looking up the website. I'm desperately trying not to multitask right now. But it definitely made more money in its first months than Pacific Rim did in its whole theatrical run, and that was just a little shy under 400 million. Godzilla's already passed 400 million, I think. Again, double check your double check with more reliable online sources. And so far, it's definitely a success. So much so that the two sequels, Legendary Pictures or Warner Brothers, I forget which movie studio is taking over from for the Godzilla franchise. I want to say it's Warner Brothers. But then again, that would just be me being pessimistic, because I think Legendary did a somewhat good job with this, although I prefer they do more properties like Pacific Rim as opposed to more gritty Man of Steel remakes. So, DC Comics, it's a cluster, you know what. So, but no, very happy that Godzilla 2014 is doing extremely well, especially with audiences who didn't exactly get Godzilla beforehand. I think Grace of Beyond the Trailers, that particular YouTube site, she pointed out a very good reason that this was more of a Godzilla recruitment film to get the quote-unquote normal people or the non-fans on board. And yeah, it's funny to see the massive amount of popularity for the movie, even if audiences were as separated as critics as far as underwhelming or even negative reviews towards the movies. But isn't that ironic, isn't it? How the mainstream moviegoers and the critics will say they're not at all interested in these giant monster movies. Almost viciously and cynically so. And then when you actually give them a big budget monster movie, they complain like a bittersweet kaiju fan who doesn't like sitting through the human drama, regardless if it's good or not. It's like, why do the humans have to talk? We want more monster action. So, hypocrisy. It's not just for evil people. So I just wanted to say that I'm very happy that Godzilla 2014 is doing well. It's a success. Might be considered one of the surprise hits of summer, but then again, I have to admit it's not been a very good summer for blockbusters. Period. It seems that movies might come out at number one, but then quickly fall to second or third place on their second weeks. Some cases, it's not that big of a deal, like with Maleficent and Godzilla. They've been both holding strong, even though Godzilla, I think, fell to the 7th spot this week on its 5th weekend. But hey, lucky number 7, especially in the world of kaiju. But no, for the most part, a lot of the movies haven't been doing the major numbers that the studios, and more so the business newspapers and trades, have predicted or desperately wanted to. And I just think it might be one of those slow years. And probably for the best. It's almost kind of a shame that Edge of Tomorrow, which is actually a surprisingly decent movie, came out in 3rd place behind Maleficent and young adult adaptation. I forgot what the title is, For Whom the Stars. Again, double check. Always double check with sources, especially online, because it's like listening to politicians. Doesn't matter if you listen to the right head or the left head, they're both wrong. Sorry, I'm being cynical again. But yeah, double check your sources. But yeah, it's not been a very good summer for big blockbuster movies. They might come out strong the first week, but then they quickly fall to the bottom. So it is very nice that Godzilla made its money, justified its budget, and it's doing extremely well. So much so that the 2 sequels are definitely guaranteed. And Garth Edwards is on board. I just hope he kind of brings the action to the sequels as opposed to too much human drama. But we'll see what happens. Again, this was a Godzilla recruitment film to get people on board with this insane idea. So hopefully from the sequels and forward, we just have fun with it. So turns out that Bryan Cranston was Jet Jaguar this entire time. A little Brad Jones reference there. So I love the Cinema Snob. He's a great guy. Except when he's reviewing extremely screwed up stuff, then I gotta turn off the computer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures right on a computer itself. Again, this is a very basic computer filming, a very basic video filming, and it's not going to be too elaborate. I'm going to try to tell you as much about what I have here as much as possible. So forgive me if it's going to get a little awkward with the camera movements soon. Also, as you can see, I recently adopted a primate, a very curious one, and he's going to be my quote-unquote son, but I can't officially adopt him as the father in yellow without getting a yellow hat. So that will be coming through the mail soon, and I'm very looking forward to all the insane adventures that the little adopted primate will have, whereas I will just be a character who shows up at the beginning and end of each adventure to make sure everything goes well. But hey, at least I'm not adopting a terrifying British bear that destroys bathrooms, right? Okay, so let me move the camera like this. Oh no, yellow! Alright, let me see if I got this right. Uh-oh. Hold on, gotta move some wires around here. You're probably not going to see me for the remainder of the videos, so yeah, hold on, let me adjust this a little more. Okay. Somewhat decent, not good. I'm going to unplug the wires so I have a little more room. And I still got a little under 30 minutes of talking time. So that's either heaven or hell, depending on who you are. But hey, at least you're not my brothers who complain about all the writing. So, all the writing I do, that's what I meant to say. Okay, so hold on. This is what happens when you don't have a tripod, ladies and gentlemen. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, I may have bitten more than I could. Okay, I'm just going to hold this with my bare hands. It's not going to be the best setup, but what do you expect? From Rafael C. Gonzalez, the man who does even when he shouldn't. So, let's begin with something wholesome. Okay, so I just finished the title card for Brendan's next video, and I know a lot of people have been emailing me and bothering about this. And there's been big delays on both his end, because he's up in Canada, and my end, especially with Father's Day and other local events happening here in Los Angeles. I've already told people why I hate holidays. They get in the way of real life. And Father's Day, as well as a lot of local events, are no different. But, you know, it was for Dad, what the hell? Okay, so Brendan's next review is Destroy All Monsters. I accidentally pressed the title version. You're not able to see the background image so well. But yeah, that's going to be the title text. And I'm getting better with my Photoshop too, so projects are moving a lot faster. I'm getting more jobs, although now that I have a slight calming point between my professional gigs, I'm going to go back to all my commissions and finish off a lot of the lingering commissions I still have, as well as taking a brand new one I got from one particular. Forgive me if I get names wrong throughout the review, but throughout this video. But here's the title card for Brendan's next video, Destroy All Monsters, of course. And as you can see, there's Brendan in the middle, Minya, Kumanga, Rodan, Godzilla, Harpo, Chico, and Groucho, Baragon, Anglius, Gorosaurus. I'm getting old, so I can afford to miscount monster names. Mothra Larva, Manda, the second version, and Mr. I barely showed up in the movie Varan. This title card is very much reminiscent of not only the posters for Destroy All Monsters made during the 60s, both the American and Japanese version, but also kind of calling back to Brendan's Ray Harryhausen review. So I'll be posting this on my DeviantArt site soon, but I thought I'd give you guys a quick look. So I'm going to zoom in on that a bit to give you guys a better look. And there it is. I'm actually very happy with the way this one came out, but it was a lot more work than anticipated. Again, a lot of things got in the way. In fact, I just finished it this morning, and it's Monday, June 16th. I just finished it this morning around 7 o'clock, and I was literally up from 10 o'clock yesterday morning, from June 15th all the way up till until this morning at 9 o'clock, when I had to do lunches for the working boys and whatnot. My brothers, they still have outside jobs as opposed to work at home stuff like me. Okay, so I'm gonna close that stuff up. Oh, here's a version of the title card I'm doing for Brendan without any text whatsoever. Let me make that a little bigger for you guys to enjoy, or not. Again, this is a really crappy setup. So, and again, there's the Marx Brothers and a bunch of Toho monsters. So yeah, that's the next title card, the next big update you guys are probably going to see before Wednesday. Alright, so speaking of title cards, and this has been over 2 weeks coming, so I definitely apologize, but this is for Ralph Baer. This is a basic idea sketch he wrote for his next Stupid Moose movie reviews, and he's actually reviewing 2 animated features in one review. I couldn't tell you the titles to save the life of me, but basically he asked me to recreate this image, and that's going to be my big job this week, along with a Dragon Ball Z related commission I took from a nice gentleman whose name escapes me at the moment because all your internet handles are weird, like mine, Enshohma. So there you go. We'll close that one up. Alright, who's next? Oh, it's going to get a little racy here. No nudity, but okay, so there's this person named Brainstorm 332000 who's hired me to do, who did a lot of commissions. I'm doing a lot of commissions involving naughty stuff, basically. And one of the things is this elaborate hentai/vor comic, which, you know, this is basically the comic cover to it, and I show you the first page, but the first page has nudity and other horrible things. So, and not only that, but this is probably going to be, you're probably not going to see so much quote-unquote cheesecake artwork on my main site, Enshohma at DeviantArt, anymore, especially since I opened an alternative account to do all that. So from now on, any related news concerning my naughtier works will be done over there and there alone. At the alternative site I'll share in the future, although some of you probably already know it. Oh my god, it's what's all this? Oh yeah, this. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how long it's been out of focus like that. Okay, a little better. Alright, so, what else is next? Oh, this is a recent commission I just finished for Warrior King, aka Dan. A very nice young man who's probably way too damn patient with me, especially considering how long this took. This handsome-looking giant robot with a laser sword is the Japanese Self-Defense Force robot. That's a very crummy name for the otherwise interesting unproduced 1970s Godzilla film, Godzilla vs. the Asuka Fortress. Now, even though this image is all finished, Warrior King has already posted it on his DeviantArt site, so you can look at that and some of the precursor images. But I'll be posting this version on my site soon. And it's just unfortunate it's going to be another one of those super long, horrible to read, I don't want to read it, DeviantArt descriptions that I'm infamous for, and I need to be because it's an interesting history behind this movie. My hands are a little shaky, so forgive me for that. Oh, that's slightly better. No, it isn't. Okay, yeah, it is slightly better. I still got 20 minutes. So yeah, so this robot is better known by Godzilla fans as the Asuka Fortress itself. Yet, ironically, the Asuka Fortress is actually a reference towards the rebellion within the Japanese military from a fringe group of militaristic Japanese soldiers who simply commandeer this giant robot, who's the closest thing to a real name it has is the Japanese Self-Defense Force robot, or the JSDF robot. Although many fans online call him the Asuka Fortress. I'll get into far more detail about it later, but basically this is what this character is connected to. And hopefully he'll be way more successful than my attempts to do Takagami, the mutant astronaut from Godzilla vs. M, another unproduced movie from 2001. So we'll close that guy up. Next up, here's the next entry into the Kaiju Portraits. That's been a long time coming. It's a retake on the Gugs, bizarre sidewayed mouth ogres/giants from H.P. Lovecraft's semi-uncompleted but still published novella, The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. And even though when I've drawn this, drawn a Gug before for the Kaiju Portraits, I think this improved version is much nicer. I'm going to be doing it as a separate upload. And plus, I really love the Gugs. They're just fantastic monsters. And if I had more money and talent beyond artistry and imagination, I'd probably make an elaborate Gug costume. Although there's this really nice girl I know who works at Legoland and lives in San Diego, who once came down to a convention to come visit me. She's actually very good at cosplaying, and I'll probably talk more about her later in the future, but unfortunately her name escapes me. I am so sorry, everybody. I am terrible with names, even after... It's like I barely remember the name of my own parents. Punch and Judy, I think their names are called. Okay, this is not a future commission by any, or a work in progress. This is just a really awesome birthday gift from my friend Earth Baragon, who's maybe slightly more of an... I might be an expert in the world of giant monsters and obscure subjects like that, but when it comes to actually having easy access to these wonderful things, Earth Baragon trumps me like no one else. And he's given me so many wonderful screen caps. A lot of them I've yet to really use online, but you'll be seeing quite a bit of them on my blog, which I'm finally getting back to, although now it's just really just a place to dump images. But why not? So many of these monsters are so obscure and unloved. And it's a really cool image because there I am, dressed up in a weird getup that's half samurai, half Forbella and Barbella from Gamma vs. Giron, surrounded by various monsters, many of them obscure or unknowns. Here we have Angoras, who's a giant fish who's also a loving mother. Jiraiya, or aka King Frog, the giant frog from the 1960s movie Magic Serpent. My personal favorite, the Dora Titan, or just the giant from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and a Zoo Ranger. Shilizi, or Kilizi, or however the hell you say his name, a spacefaring dragon who more or less is basically Bagan to the Ultraman universe, in a sense that he's a defender of the Earth and doesn't mind killing humans to do so, from Ultraman Towards the Future. La Karanga, or the Giant Claw, I probably said that wrong, from the Giant Claw, of course. Red Ronin, wonderful super robot from the Marvel Comics, and probably one of the better original kaijus that series made. And of course, a big surprise that Earth Baragon himself added, without my knowledge, Red Smoggy, the Red Cloud alien monster from Ultraman Jonas, aka the Ultraman. One of the few animated Ultraman properties ever made. Okay, I'll be closing that. You guys have probably seen this picture, but this is for a nice young lady who also commissioned me. I'm still cleaning up the inks, and I'll be coloring this piece. It's basically Pinkie Pie, if Pinkie Pie was a human-like elf gal. Still got 15 minutes to annoy you all. What else is there? This is something that's a long time coming. There's this one person who was on DeviantArt. I think her name's Dragoon Thor, or at least that's the name of her DeviantArt account. She used to do the really awesome kaiju mini pictures for me, but she more or less disappeared off the face of the internet. I hope she's doing well wherever she is, but this was an image owed to her for the second half, and I'm going to finally get back on it and do it. Finish this picture regardless if she ever comes back to DeviantArt or not. But basically, this is one of her original characters, the attractive but equally grotesque monster girl, V. Arsicant. I think I'm saying that right, but again, it's a bunch of weird names. Alright, so Okay, so here we have... Oh, might as well bring both images up. Alright, I recently posted a colored sketch of a demon original character of mine called Mistress Mephistia. And here we have her half-human daughter, Pike. I forgot what her full name was. That's right, I am so terrible with names, I don't even remember the full names of my own made-up creations. But this is an older picture of her full body, which is kind of a miracle because I don't do full bodies that much, but you'll be seeing more full bodies in the future. And even knowing she looks, and this is supposed to be, this is a more newer sketch, her upper torso. Unfortunately, it didn't come out that well. She looks a little too angry for her own good. And I might end up not doing this for a while. So this is a project that will probably be put on hold indefinitely. Oh, might as well share this. Me and my friend Berkion, we're working on this project called Charred, which is a graphic novel we hope to get published before the end of the year. And it's very much the kaiju eiga giant robot genre meets old school American 1950s monster movies. And hopefully we can get this done as a graphic novel. But the good news is, Charred, who's this giant robot rock creature hybrid, was accepted into Colossal Kaiju Combat. And this is the card made by another nice gentleman whose name escapes me, but I'll put links at the bottom. I'll make up for forgetting names by putting links at the bottom of the article I'm going to feature this video on. But that's the beautiful card he made for us, and it's Charred is officially a member of Colossal Kaiju Combat, although whether he ends up in the actual game or not is still up in the air. But as far as the card spin-off goes, here he is. So very proud about that. It's always great to have a kaiju officially licensed. And speaking of Charred, Ghostwalker, another friend of ours who's helping us on the Charred project, did this beautiful pencil sketch of Charred. And she's doing the penciling, I'll be doing the inking and artwork for the sampler pages for our graphic novel. So I'm going to be printing this out tomorrow, and then I'm going to come back home and do a light table and ink this guy out. And the great thing about this sketch she did is it doubles for a kaiju portrait. So you'll be seeing this in the kaiju portraits. I've decided to give up the ghost and put original characters, both mine and yours, into the kaiju portrait series. So if you want to commission me for that, by all means do so. Money, money, money by the pound. What do we... BT... Oh, this is an image, an older image I did for Brendan. It's a portrait. It was going to be used for his Blip TV account, but then he got kicked off of Blip TV for reasons that we still don't know what happened. I don't know if it was copyright infringement, or just Blip TV just doing a purging of unpopular websites, which sucks because he was about to hit the Blip TV payday of views, and of course he gets lots of views anyways. But this simple poster, I'm debating whether or not I should put it on DeviantArt or not. And if I do, I got to rework the eyes because even though I'm a fantastic colorist and I can recognize colors, turns out his eyes are blue, which is a mistake he had to correct me on for early when I was doing title cards for him. Now I'm just rambling, but this might be a very minor DeviantArt update to come pretty soon if the Destroy a Monster video is delayed on Brendan's end. Not on my end because I finished the title card finally. So, speaking of projects. Okay, so you guys remember the inks I did for the Seaweed Monster, one of the original villains done for the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla? Well, this is the coloring attempt. I did this coloring months ago. I started but never finished. Especially since I've now bear with me. I've now discovered the wonders of layers. Yes, I used to just flatten images and use one layer over everything else. See? All that hard work done in one layer. And it's a real pain in the butt, the way I used to do things. But now that I'm getting older and smarter apparently, I don't know if I want to start this from scratch or just abandon this guy and move on to other things. But I don't know. I'm debating whether or not to finish this, but here it is. The uncompleted Seaweed Monster, and because this is a self-grandizing vanity project, one of those words isn't real, I'm probably not going to finish it and just focus on my commissions. I already saved it, so there's nothing to worry there. Speaking of images that were finished a while ago, This handsome fellow is Dokuver, and I'm not going to get into major details about him, but he's basically an alien reverend. That's like that's when a poltergeist and a zombie is basically one and the same. Named Dokuver, and I did this image a while ago for my friend Jesse, or Berkion as he's known on DeviantArt, and he's been posting a lot of sketches and art and subsequential artwork I've done for him for this Power Ranger inspired series called Lightning Brigade, or LB5 as we call it for short, and he's one of the main recurring villains. Dokuver, the Silver Knight of Evil. This is a really good portrait, but at the same time it doesn't give you a very good idea what the rest of his body looks like. So I'm debating whether or not Jesse should post it on his DeviantArt site, and I should withhold on posting this on my DeviantArt site until I get a full body image to do a combo piece, like I recently did with the Junkyard Queen. Speaking of overdue commissions, this is I've already done the inks for this, and my fault really for not asking for more money on such a complex image. But I also really, and since this is a commission, I really do want to finish coloring this for the gentleman who paid for it. And it's called Nancy War for short. It's basically the 50-foot woman from 1958 versus the Daryl Hannah version of the 50-foot woman from the 90s. Front of a coastal city that name escapes me, with a special cameo from Bolton, a monster from Ultraman. I'll zoom in on him. There we go. There he is. Basically a reality-bending rock to justify why the heck two different versions of the 50-foot woman are fighting each other. So there you go. This picture might work out, might not, but we'll see. I'm more tempted to finish coloring this than I am of the seaweed monster. I'm debating whether or not I should continue doing color sketches, and this of course is Deborah Darling, my cyborg alien prostitute with a heart of gold. Underneath these fun things, I'm so sorry. I'm terrible at humor. So I'm debating whether or not I should finish this picture off as a colored portrait, but at the very least I know Berkion has the original sketch posted on his DeviantArt page. I'll throw links at the bottom of the article. Now last but not least, these are some basic inks I had plans for doing illustrations of, but I think I might hold off on them for various reasons, especially since I might be going to Power Morphicon this year. And even knowing that original characters are awesome and everything, they don't sell well as prints or posters. Still though, this is Sophie the Stinger, an uncompleted picture. Basically a pinup of her being all sexy but classy at the same time. She's an alien bee woman, or wasp woman to be exact, holding a brandy glass with some chocolates, nice little pillows, and the pattern of course was going to be a beehive type pattern. So there you go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish that image, but it's on the back burner. Commissions come first, and professional gigs. This is another idea for this is definitely going to be a convention print if I do end up going to Power Morphicon, based on a really old image I did a while ago called Like Father, Like Son. It's little Godzilla from the Heisei era standing behind the corpse of Groucho and Chico. Harpo's head is somewhere in the background. So unfortunately, I'm still working on the inks with that one. As you can see, it's asymmetrical terrible. Like, this half is good, this half sucks. I think what I'll do is I'll just cut this one in half, crop this side, flip it, post it here, reconnect the sides in the middle, and hopefully get a stronger little Godzilla. And not only that, but the image is a little too dark for something that's supposed to be a little offbeat, so I might have to go in by hand digitally and get rid of all the blackness. So that's going to be quote-unquote fun. And last but not least, this was an idea for a full-body poster featuring my cult favorite character from you fans, Queen Cancer. Not called that because she's a giant mermaid-like lobster woman. And this is how her full body looks like. And this picture was extremely complex to make. Took me 3 pieces of paper and I had to connect each different section together individually. But here she is in all her grotesques, yet equally adorable and buxom glory. Because, you know, I'm Enshohma, I'm infamous for that. I'd almost call myself the Russ Meyer of Kaiju, but then I realized my stuff would have happier endings. So there you go. That's the Queen Cancer poster. I don't know if I'm going to be finishing her. She's on the back burner. But I will admit, for an original character in this image here, it would work better as a wall print than say, Sophie the Stinger would. So there you go. That's all for now. 35 minutes, a new record for not talking a full 40. Thank you for listening, and I will be talking to you guys in more video blogs in the future, because again, nobody likes to read, and I don't have time to write anymore. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll talk to you guys later. So, bye.